and class and inspire, delight, mentorship, how to inspire other delight with other all kinds of. Okay, anyhow, Lowe's will be chairing for the first time today. And what we're going to do is, I guess the first part of it will be Lowe's will look at different cards and which mentorship card she wants to open and explore. So we generally try to spend about 30 or 40 minutes on the cards and then 20 minutes in discussion. So, okay, back to you, Lilith. So I've opened two cards. I've opened your card and I've opened Nadine's card. Is there any other cards that you'd like to open?
Mm, the Trello card, sir.
Okay, all right, let's take a look. The Trello cards belonging to your intern, right?
The initiative about communication. Maybe I will take like three cards to be what is that? One is update, but two the others is discussion.
Okay, sounds good. All right, which cards would you like to update us on today, Lilith?
Uh Traveloka.
Okay,
Only for
Traveloka. Oh, okay, all right, fun card, yeah. All right, let's take a look at that and let's begin. All right, Lilith, what do we need to know about Traveloka?
wait, this one. Okay, so it's basically the newest thing that Frida has done is not that one, sir. I think I haven't attached the new one. Is
This
that?
one.
Yeah, can you open the yeah that one? Yeah.
Mm-hmm,
So this is the private card from the previous Traveloka research.
mm-hmm.
Uh, what things that I tell Frida lastly is about the template, the card template. So previously I didn't screenshot the previous card, but the previously the card is not that tidy and something like pivoting and also how to organize pivoting and also how to set KPI.
Mm.
I have pairing yesterday, not yesterday, 2 days ago actually.
Mm-hmm.
And for the progress, she's confirmed about the pricing
Okay.
and also collaborate with Aldo regarding the Tira account. But I think as Aldo taking day off today, so uh, Frida haven't get back regarding the progress.
Ah, I got it. So you have a blocking step, yeah, between due to Aldo's holiday.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, interesting. Okay, all right, that's interesting. Great. Let's go. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us, Alyssa, about this card?
Yeah, I think regarding the card, only that the uploads, but the other one is about the leadership skills. Actually, I implement the suggestion from this meeting that she has to prepare before the meeting, so the confidence is getting better, and I hope it will continue for the next Scrum on revenue management.
Yes, it's actually quite brilliant, Lilith. So I have noticed that Frida's ability to chair a meeting has dramatically improved. Dramatically, like from I would say from probably 0 to 1, like compared to the first time. So, what do you think is the main reason that that was able to happen in such a short time, Lilith?
Mm, Actually, I noticed the problem from Rita. First is regarding what is the English. Yeah, first is the confidence. I actually suggest her to increase the speed of talking.
Okay,
Uh, and then get it more tagas. What is the English of tagas? It's just like
strict.
yeah, and brave. Be brave on when talk, and then using the new machine. So actually, before Frida would like to use her machine at the first time, but I suggest to use Bukit Vista machine without the face, without Frida's face. So it's I think probably will faster the meeting. So it's basically the confidence decrease because of the speed of her leading speed.
I see. So confidence was related to reactiveness, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
So when the reaction time was slow, then she felt less confident. But if the reaction time,
Yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
reaction time.
When we, what is that? When we wait for something, right? It's just like, what should I do? What should I do? So yeah, it's related to the machine actually. For me, from my side, so from my analysis. So um, and also I think she prepared before the meeting, so it will
Okay,
be more fun.
excellent. Actually, this is a great topic, Lois. I think this is worthy of drilling down. That's why I put it up on discussion management. Nadine, have you felt the same with your intern that somehow we need to improve their confidence level?
I think for Caroline, I see that she's confident enough to deliver her opinion and when in the scrum and also when she pairing with me. So I think she's confident enough, sir.
Okay, good, 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 good. All right. I like this particular topic. I'm going to drill down here for a moment. Oh wait, actually, Lilith, you're chairing actually, but
Yes, sir.
may I drill down on this one? Um,
Yeah, yeah.
I believe you've solved a big problem here, Lilith, and I mean that very truthfully too. So one of the big factors I've noticed with a lot of interns is that they don't have a confidence level yet. And so what you did was you analyzed it. You discovered that that confidence level was related to the speed at which they could collect feedback. In fact, right? So if they're leading a meeting, everything's slow. Then even the live feedback process is pretty slow, right? We're waiting. The feedback comes like 1 minute later. So what I've noticed, if I can say, is that the overarching principle to growing confidence, I'm guessing, is faster feedback gets faster confidence. And the reason why is because you accumulate experience faster and you feel flow faster as an intern. So if you're an intern and you don't get any feedback, let's say throughout the entire duration of your internship, you're probably not even going to know if you did anything right. Um, But I think the speed of that feedback and even getting somebody to use a faster machine, they can feel that feedback faster. They can see the reaction on people's faces. They can see like how the other people in the group are reacting to them. So this is actually a really interesting approach to this. I don't think it was just the machine because let's say, for example, in Kezia's case, we gave her the machine, but still it didn't fix the situation. I think it was your approach to direct and fix it and show. I think it's like your confidence inspires other people's confidence as well. So your tagas inspires somebody else to be tagas. So I think that's actually a pretty good approach. My evaluation is being tagas. I I, I really want to find out what this word means.
Okay, I'd like to find it,
Okay, yeah,
sir.
tagas. Okay, tagas. Yeah, tagas. Nadine, what's your best? Assertive. Okay. Being assertive. Okay, thank you. Being assertive
Yes,
helps
sir.
your intern become assertive. And you can probably imagine that. We've all had professors, we've all had mentors. If your mentors are always like wishy washy, right? Like, yeah, I guess you could do it this way. I guess you could do it that way. It's, whatever you do is fine. Um, that really doesn't help confidence much unless they're very confident about that approach. They say, hey, you know what? You can take a very approach and that'll be fine, right? It's generally better to say, hey, what's right, what's wrong, so that I think the intern has a more clear vision of where to go, and it reduces confusion. I can kind of imagine why that's working. Another thing I've noticed, Liz, is that you tend to guide by asking questions. Tell me more about that.
Mm, yeah, sir. Because yeah, that's things that I usually do with when I want to explore something with people. Because I believe that when someone did something, they have reason, right? So I'll ask first, and yeah, have a thing for a while, and then if it is good, then I will support. And if I have something to be suggest to improve that, so I'd like to give suggestion. So it's basically the reason is I believe that someone did something with reason. So
All right, that's actually really good. That's really good, Lilith. Nadine, what do you think about that? Oh, over to Nadine for discussion again.
Hi, Nadine, are you there?
Yes, yes.
So maybe you have something around this topic, Nadine, something to share.
Um, not yet, sih. Not yet, Kalidas.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Ladies, I want you to hear this piece of a book, right? I'm listening to this book right now that's written by an author, Robert Sutton. He's a he's a Stanford professor. We've been trying to reach out to him to speak with him for professional networking. He says this one thing I was listening to this morning, and I want you guys to listen to this.
Smart bosses defend and stick to current statements of the attitude of wisdom. Smart versus wise bosses. Smart bosses have the confidence to act on what they know, but feel and express little doubt in public or private about what they believe or do. Wise bosses have the confidence to act on what they know and the humility to doubt their knowledge. Smart bosses make definitive statements. Wise bosses make statements, often backstage, that reveal uncertainty and confusion. Smart bosses answer questions. Wise bosses ask questions. Smart bosses talk well. Wise bosses listen well. Smart bosses give help, but don't ask for help and refuse it when offered. Wise bosses give help, ask for help, and accept it when offered. Smart bosses defend and stick to current courses of action, have strong opinions that are strongly held. Wise bosses challenge and often revise courses of action, have strong opinions that are weakly held. Many of the skilled bosses.
So that I think was actually demonstrated by Lilith by asking questions. I noticed that when we did the research evaluations, you and Vidi both asked questions a lot from the candidates applying for internships. Whereas I think it's my own fault was actually I always thought of it as like an evaluation rather than a dialogue. So that's actually a really strong practice. And I would like you guys to spread that practice. I think that's actually a really good, we can incorporate that into our culture as a way of going about. What do you think of that?
Yeah, yes, sir. It's actually kind of logical. I mean, the way that maybe me and VD, I don't know where I get that, but maybe maybe from the university because yeah, from when our thesis defense, right?
Yes.
The lecturer tend to give us questions, so maybe that's a good way to test understanding and also like guiding someone to get some new knowledge.
Excellent.
Because the lecturer actually has the answer, right?
Mhm.
But they want to confirm whether we know the right answer or not. It's like that
Very good.
actually. That's good actually to be implemented, sir.
Oh, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you believe that the lecturer always has the answer?
No.
But why did you say that they already know the answer?
Maybe like some moments if they know not really knowing the answer, but when the students answer by some explanation,
Mhm.
usually the like I said, usually the lecturer will like analyze it. Yeah, this makes sense, and oh, I have a new idea for you, just like that, sir.
Very good.
Inspiration from answer from the students actually.
This sounds like a method that we use here at Bukit Vista. What kind of method would we call that?
I don't have.
Very good. I think Nadine got it.
Yeah. Socratic method.
Very good. And Nadine, why is the Socratic method so good for innovation?
So actually, we can hear, like somebody's opinion about the question,
Okay.
and it might be, people might come with some answer that unexpected and
Right.
also make sense
Okay.
and give us make us inspired and also kind of like the start of innovation.
Very good. All right.
Is Socratic methods is also tend to kind of like brainstorming each other.
Interesting, Nadine. All right, let's go over to Lilith. Lilith, can the Socratic method inspire delight?
Yeah, I think so, sir. Because yeah, Vita have told me actually during the trial period, right?
Mhm.
So she asked me, do you know why I asked you questions? I mean, like for example, like she want to test me whether I understand with the core value, Bukit Vista core value or not. And I just realized that it's only implemented by HR. I just realized it is now by Vida actually. I don't know Ara actually.
Very true. Very true. Right.
Yeah.
You're right. It probably needs to get propagated more. HR was I guess HR is where the culture is the most potent, right?
Yeah.
Because that's where culture seems to be the strongest. But I think you have found a way to implement it in a new channel that nobody else has thought of yet, actually. So I think that's good, actually. And as mentors, I would ask you guys to embrace the Socratic method to help teach people. Um, to summarize what Lilith and Nadine have both said, it can inspire us, it can give us new direction, new perspectives, and you become the learner too. You become a wise boss, so to speak. If you can understand how somebody is thinking, then you have a much better way of actually figuring out how to teach them and how to guide them. If you don't understand what they're thinking at all, then the corrective action might not actually work. So that is actually something that's quite powerful. And yes, thank you. I want to recognize also Lilith for using it actively and I think helping me grow too as well, because I saw that is a better way. I have to think a little bit harder if I start using that method for evaluating interns and other work. Okay, great, good discussion. We picked up a good tool, and okay, hey, thank you, Nadine. Okay, let's as Nadine is writing that, I believe we can go back to the card
Yeah.
over here. All right, back to Lilith, or over to Nadine. Wait, Lilith, you're leading.
Yes, sir. So I'll ask you to go to the Nadine's card and Nadine's. I see there's two cards on your mentees. So which one that's my card, sir. That's Nadine's card.
Oh, I have
Oh,
a question, Lilith, and
yeah.
this is something I wanted to bring up. We have a blocking step right now, right? So we are trying to get this Terra account done, but the person who does Terra is not here, and that puts us behind on our schedule, and that puts the intern that we're leading in a state of waiting. What do we do if we see that? Is that maybe is there anything we can do to improve the efficiency of the intern while they wait for somebody else, or what can we do as mentors to better utilize our time budgets?
Actually, Rita says that the deadline is at the latest on Monday, and she wants to actually work on her other card,
Okay,
the networking.
okay, good. That's good. Nice to hear that there's other threads happening as well. Okay, back to the chat.
Yep. So maybe I'll ask you to go to Nadine's card, sir.
Okay.
Nadine, which card that would like to update and discuss today?
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Chair. For HR material competency, she has already complete all the checklist. And yesterday I did pairing and test her for each subjects in the checklist, and she passed. Also for the creating digital guidebook, for the draft and also the MVP, she already done it. Feedback,
Nadine,
yes,
actually,
Mrs.
it's
Chair.
interesting when you said that you test the materials. Maybe you can share it more to us. I mean, what kind of test that you give to
Ah, okay. Thank
Caroline?
you, Carlos. So the task is kind of like just task, if the the direct inquiries, I asked her to to follow the flow like on the direct inquiries Trello board, and then related to HR and finance coordination. So yeah, basically I give her a task and do it. She do it independently, the documenting things and also the negotiation and everything. She do it. Even for the direct booking one, she hasn't got a deal, but the HR financial coordination and also financial resolution kind of like related. She did it already and she understood about that. So yeah, she do it like I I see that how she do it.
Mm. Yes, sir. Over to you.
Oh, well, actually, I'll go to Lilith. Lilith, I think you already had something. Would you like to expand on this topic, Lilith?
What I would like to expand.
Yeah. Is there anything that you would like to say in response to what Nadine just said?
Actually, I don't have any specific topic, but it's just like I have an idea on didn't forget to give motivation for Caroline, but because Nadine said Caroline haven't made a deal yet from the direct booking, so it means that the negotiation and persuasion skills is haven't proven yet. So maybe we have to give her target is motivation actually, and also as a learning subject. And if we get like direct booking, just pass to her and observe the progress. That's the only things that I noticed from Nadine's explanation. But if you have any ideas, sir, please explore.
Sure. I would like to ask Nadine. Nadine, how does anybody know what you've tested Caroline on besides yourself?
Oh yeah, I actually I actually still figuring out how to document it, sir.
Okay. And how do we know that if you say, let's say, she can do these things, that everybody agrees that this person can do these things?
She can be delegated right now
Okay. So
for the task.
So I'm trying to use Socratic method to guide the testing. I know this is good. This is a good first step, I think, in thinking about okay, this person has minimum qualifications, and you have these subjects. You have like a curriculum, but within a curriculum, I would say that there is the controls, and the controls would be tests, right? And I think these tests should be challenges. So let's say, for example, what would be a objective way that we know somebody can handle air support? So we need to think about, all right, what are probably the three most challenging cases that we get in air support? Maybe last minute cancellations and having to deal with an owner, or a situation where there's a double booking and we need to negotiate with the guest, or maybe there's whatever it is, right? So that would be, let's say, the context of what a test should be. What would you do in these circumstances? Um, the tool sets. The tools you can kind of like see like maybe a demonstration. Demonstrate to me how you would do this, right? And you think of like what is particularly complex routine or process. And you can see actually the tools create efficiency. So you can almost time it. You can say, can you do this for me in less than 2 minutes? If they're using the tools
Mm,
correctly, then you'll know that they probably are proficient at the tools. If they're stumbling, looking for everything, they're like, I can't find my socks, I can't find my whatever, then you probably see that they don't have full proficiency on tools. So the idea of actually testing, I believe, is a little bit more objective and can be a little bit more objective because currently it seems like the test is subjective. It's Nadine says this person passes, so we just kind of have to believe you at this point, right? That's
mhm.
okay. I think if it's like if Caroline shows that she can do everything very well, then okay, that's fine, right? But it's not a system yet, meaning that if you leave or if we want you to qualify another person, there's no way that you can use a system to delegate some of your efforts to the system. So, what does the system look like? A system can look like where you create just challenges or case studies. You say, all right, Caroline, here's a case study, right? you're given this situation, what do you do? And you can record her response and then see, does this person have the correct intuition to solve that particular case? You can create a timed measurement where you say, all right, in this amount of time, I need you to get these things done. Go, right? And see if they can actually organize that quickly enough. Um, these
Yeah.
are all tests that become more objective. And then everybody can look at the test and they can look at the result and they can say, okay, I believe this person is actually qualified now to do this particular skill. Best part is that it makes it easy for you because whatever they do on their test, there'll be results, and then after those results, then you can coach them to bring that level up, and then retest them again until they pass. So the
Okay.
majority of the effort then is not on your side as a mentor; it's they study for the test, and you give them materials to study for the test, and then when they pass the test, then they're okay. If they don't pass the test, then they can come to you to ask for revision, and then you can tell them what to do, right? So that's what I think could be better. But I'll go over to Lilith and ask Lilith, what do you think is a way that we can make this more systematic and more objective?
Yeah, maybe I also think about making it like system, right? Previously we talked about this on the revenue management, like we have like some materials to real by the intern, but our assessment is actually after the intern have pairing with me or VD. So it means like we assume that they are understand, but actually we haven't like assigned a specific task of it. But for HAR, I think it's good for example, like maybe specify more on the air support. What kind of task is there to complete? It's like each material has its evaluation, like HAR daily tools. So maybe yeah, give a specific. It is task that you can assess by what is that by objective method, like you said like case management. We give her case, right? So we can, oh, he can, she can complete it. But if haven't, we have to train again and give the target also for that. Maybe that. Yes, sir.
Excellent. To add to also what Lilith just said, I recall that if let's say for example, Nadine, you have let's say you're testing if somebody's good at air support, right? I remember
Mhm.
back to what Mohammed said. Mohammed Waziri. Lewis, did you come to that discussion? The one we had with Mohammed Waziri?
Oh, I don't think so, sir.
Okay. He was the customer support lead at Uber for Cairo in Egypt. And he told us this really good method for checking people's work. He said that, let's say for air support is mostly done through WhatsApp, right? So, what you can ask for as a test is you say, all right, Caroline, what I'm going to do is I want you to add me to every WhatsApp group that you will create in the next week. And then what I will do is I will pick out 20 or I'll pick out five engagements, right? And these five engagements should pass our standard of quality, meaning that they should be a response time that's within a certain time. It should be a quality response, and that it is, whatever you believe the standard should be. And we probably should have those standards so that we can talk about that. And I will pick out five engagements from 1 week of your work. And these five engagements better have, five pass or four pass. And so that is what we call a random sampling. So if you look at every piece of work, it's just too much, right? There's way too many inquiries, there's way too many engagements happening. But you, as the evaluator, can just pick five, whichever ones you want to pick, right? And then you can use this to say, hey, look, you pass this test. If I pick out five is maybe a little bit too narrow, maybe 10. I'll pick 10 engagements. I'll screenshot 10 times where you responded to a guest, and all 10 times, 10 times 9 should be actually inspire delight, right? 9 should actually inspire delight. and then you can then have a objective test on that, and it's easier too, right? And
Mm.
that can be a ongoing system to essentially control and to lead a large group of people who are doing air support. You can give air support to 20 people that way and say, all right, you know what? And you can delegate it to each other. You can have them monitor each other, right? You can say, hey, look, you will pick out four engagements from this person's thing. And that's good too, because then you improve the culture of understanding what good quality work is. So it's not always like, it's not just like the leaders are telling everybody else, but everybody's looking at everybody's work. And then that becomes faster to become part of the culture. Like what we do when we do chairman rotation. So I think these could be some good methods that we start trying. But this is actually a very deep field, and we're scratching just the surface of it right now. But if you get the system right, then each time you do it, it will be easier and easier, and you'll be more of a boss, right? Because you have more power now than you did before. You can get more done with less time. Okay, back to
Okay.
Chair.
Okay, thank you, sir. So, yeah, Nadine, maybe you can have some notes on what is that on your card regarding that, because this is also potential for the template for HAR if you have future interns and HAR and everyone can implement it. Okay, so I'd like to hear from your second card, actually, Nadine. What is that? The guidebook.
Oh yeah. Okay. Catalyst, before we move to guidebook, I actually remember uh, there is some subject that indirectly documented actually, like in the case study, it's documented on case management
Oh,
journey. Yeah. She did. She handled two overbooking.
oh, see, the 502 overbooking.
Yeah, and it's sorted out already.
Okay, so that's great. So it means like
Yeah, yeah.
she
But yes, then I need to think like for the other subject how to make it objective to to test. Okay.
yeah,
Thank you,
yeah.
Jing, and also Lilis for the suggestion. I will think about that. And for the guidebook, yeah, so for creating the guidebook for MVP and also the feedback, it's already done and the feedback is already collected. Actually, we can track it on her paper. And after that, she is actually thinking to pivoting her card. So basically, instead of making guidebook for each property, which is will consume so many times, she will just make for like special interest guidebook, like for honeymoon guidebook, also a water sport guidebook, family, kids friendly guidebook like that. So not for each property, but for special interest guidebook. And also, she also thinking, how do we know the guest is what is the guest interest? She's also thinking about it. So when yesterday when I did pairing, she's actually already started to think systematically, and also she kind of like interested to taking the opportunity of the guest.bukitvista.com to do guest profiling there. So yeah, before creating the guidebook, so she will figuring out how to make the guest how to do guest profiling to know what is the guest interest, and then providing the the facilitation for the guest interest.
Okay. So actually, so the initiative is done from Carolyn's side, right, Nadine? So
Yes, for the guidebook experiment, it's
yeah.
already done.
So actually, what is the summary of the result? I mean, so is that not efficient? So Carolyn wants to pivot to a new card, or what is that sounds like?
So basically, the feedback, all the feedback that's collected, it's said that it helpful, and also there will be, the guest will be like, uh, delight when they can have some recommendation and everything. But what I think is like this: if the if the if the KPI is a good feedback from the guest, if we ask about the feedback about the guidebook, I think most of the guests will say, "Yeah, that's helpful." But I don't. But yeah, but the things that really hard to measure is that increase the guest experience with us or not.
Mm.
So yeah, because when I think again, yeah, when I'm a guest and then the host offer me like, if I give you this guidebook, this kind of guidebook, will that be helpful for you? Of course, I would say, yeah, that's helpful. I think it's not really strong enough to to be the basis for developing this one. So I'm actually I actually also confused how to set the KPI for this.
Nice.
But
Nice.
but she's but her intention to to pivoting instead of each property to special interest, it's kind of like good pivot.
Yep, yep.
Also really wise for time consuming, time budgeting colors. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's basically
that's actually also my friction, guys. I
Mm.
directly delivered.
friction on what? Sorry.
Yeah, that's actually also my fiction that I directly delivered to you guys.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. So it means that Carolyn has her own measurement regarding the as what Joshap done actually on the presentation, sir. So it's basically Carolyn measuring the impact and also the resource, right? Is it low impact, high resource, something? So maybe Carolyn decided this is low impact and also high resources. So she pivot to a new card. It's good actually. Yeah, but again, maybe when she wants to pivot to a new card, please make sure that she has the KPI. So it is not done like this again. So it's just confusing.
Actually, one thing that I think makes sense to be the KPI is if the guest mention about the guidebook on the review.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, but I think it will take a long time to that. Like the guidebook should be done first, right?
Mm.
Okay, okay. I see. So then maybe you can close this card, but just keep what is that observing in the future. So you don't have to do it again for the next, but you have to observe, and once you have feedback for that from the guest review, you can consider it again. So that's from my side. Maybe over to you, sir.
Fantastic. I'll put some comments down. I think Lilith, would you be able to take the notes on Nadine's card while I give some comments?
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. No, sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, you're safe. You guys are safe. All right. So great. This actually is a really good learning opportunity, I think, for Caroline, for Nadine, and for all of us here. Um, I agree. Nadine, I think this is the power of your KPI, right? So I'll actually, yeah, okay, thank you. This is the power of KPIs. If you control the KPI, then you control the innovation. So you have two things that you as a mentor can control. You control the time budget, you control the result. And that's how you create direction and correct action. If you've given a time budget and you've asked for a certain result and the result isn't there, then you should have no problem saying, hey, look, I'm supporting you here, but you just are not delivering, right, at this moment. So there's clear action and result. In certain cases, like a guidebook, as you can see, we've had many evolutions of guidebooks here. And I love the fact that Caroline has discovered this herself as well. She's done the research, or maybe you've done the research, and we've been through one, two, three iterations of guidebooks through three different channels: WhatsApp, physical channel, and through Airbnb. This is great. At least at least now she can see the progression and the history of it. Now, this is where I think this idea of not falling in love with the solution, falling in love with the problem is more important. So Caroline wants to make a guidebook, but that's a solution. That's not the problem, right? What's the problem? Or is there even a problem? Right? We should ask ourselves, is there a problem? Are we actually solving a problem that doesn't exist? When we have guests check in, are they well informed of the area? Do they know what's going on? Are they inspired by delight? Or do we have another problem, which is maybe our host can't always be there for our guests, and perhaps the guidebook can stand in as a replacement for a host, or let's say a not a replacement, but just to represent our host. So, okay, these are possible problems. But if we have this possible problem, then we can define what the solution should be. So, first, right now, I don't know if we have a problem. This, as Caroline is going into here new, I think she might be imagining that this is a problem. She came up with the guidebook idea, if we remember, from her research topic by asking her own friends, right? She asked her own friends whether or not they liked having a guidebook, and her own friends who had traveled said yes. But her friends are not our guests exactly. So there might be a incompatibility there. Okay, the second question is, how do you know it's effective? What KPI can you use? Well, it's a little bit tough to. Oh, okay.
Nadine's lost her connection, maybe.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to get Nadine back. So I guess this is where digital marketing comes in, though, Lila. So if you have essentially a offline product, if you have, let's say, something that you can't really measure, then there is. Oh, okay, all right, there it is. There it is, right there. There is one input signal that we can see whether or not this is working. Do you see where it is?
Um, I don't see. What do you mean, sir?
Okay, so when we create, let's say, a project like when we create any project, we should have a closed loop, meaning that any project that we have, we should be able to measure something and make sure that it's also known as your KPI. So if we're measuring, let's say, brochures and stuff, this can be difficult. But what about this one? Can we measure the successfulness of this particular guidebook?
Mm, can we detect the number of clicks?
The number of helpful votes.
What is that? What is that, sir? I cannot.
It's a helpful vote, right? So if it gets a lot of helpful votes, then there you go. There's a way of rating it. And I realize everything on websites have KPIs, and that determines how the website positions and ranks the material for traffic and audience. So if this gets a helpful vote, then it will move further up the chain. If it doesn't get a helpful vote, then it will move further down the chain. For this guidebook, I think it's actually pretty strategic. Meaning, if we use, let's say, WhatsApp, does this actually inspire delight? This just seems like, bleh! It feels like somebody's regurgitating a ton of information to me. Okay, this is pretty good, I think, because it is top, like, let's say 5 things, right? But the presentation is not that beautiful, and perhaps it can have a more delightful presentation. Perhaps we can send an infographic and provide the links of everything below. That would be a little bit more fun to read. And the thing that Nadine was just talking about earlier, if you ask a guest, do you find this helpful or not? They're going to say yes. But the real way I think you can find out if something is actually helpful or not is you can look at behavior. So let's say this guidebook you were able to put as a blog post. Let's say this blog post you made it a blog post, and what you did was, let's say you look at April 1st and go all the way to here, right? So let's say, okay, jobs, right? That's one of the pages that we have here at Bukit Vista, the Bukit Vista /jobs page. Now, when we want to look and determine, is this page helpful? Then there's a very simple statistic we can look at, and that's this. What is the average time on the page? Perfect, Nadine. Welcome back. Nadine,
Hello, sorry, sir, the connection.
I understand. Nadine, this is actually to answer your question. How do you when you write to a guest and they say, "Yeah, it's helpful, thank you very much." How do you know they're being truthful? How do you know that that's actually a good answer? The answer is you don't, because it's very subjective. It's like it's also subjective and it's extremely biased, meaning they kind of have to say that, right? It's a socially awkward situation, and it's like if I give you what kind of food do you hate eating, Nadine? What's your least favorite food? Do you like durian? You like durian?
I like it. I
Okay.
think there's no food that I don't like it.
Do you like Vegemite? You've had
Yeah,
Vegemite before, right?
yeah,
Do you like Vegemite?
yeah, maybe little.
Okay. What about Lilith? Lilith, do you like Vegemite?
Actually, I don't know what is that.
Vegemite is absolutely foul. It's so disgusting. Vegemite, Australians like. It's basically yeast left over from beer fermentation, and they take that yeast and they make it into a sandwich spread. It tastes like eating the inside of a horse's ass. It's like just pungent and oh, it tastes like shit. Basically, it tastes like shit. That's the best way to describe it. It's black. It's like really funky, and Australians love it though. So if you go to Australia, a lot of people eat Vegemite. This is the Australian durian. So basically, if you're a guest at an Australian Airbnb and your host is having breakfast with you and they make you toast and Vegemite and they say you like Vegemite, yeah, you're gonna be like, yeah, I guess you like my guidebook, yeah. Yeah. So it's not a very good answer. What is a good answer is if I serve you Vegemite and I leave you in private to consume it, and then when I come back and I collect the dish, I see that you took one bite and you didn't eat any more of it, right? That is an objective answer. That tells me immediately you didn't like it, right? If you ask me, can I have some more Vegemite toast? Okay, that is an objective answer. That's probably you do like it, right? Unless your guest is really faking it. But you see, that's the difference between how we ask these questions, right? If we ask a question that forces a response, then we get not such a good answer. But if we observe behavior, then we can get a better idea. So what I was showing Lilith just earlier, Nadine, was this is our website, right? And this is our website, Bukit Vista /jobs. We can see by how much time people spend on the page if it's actually a good page. And that can be the way that you see if your guidebook is a good guidebook. You can see how much time have people spent consuming your guidebook. If people have spent 10,000 hours consuming your guidebook and the average person consumed 30 minutes worth of time on your guidebook, you can probably say, you know what? I have a good guidebook, right? It's very engaging. People will actually consume it. If people spent 2 seconds on your guidebook and then they leave, then you can say, maybe not such a great guidebook and it's not doing its job, right? So this goes back to that idea of testing, and this is your control. When you have testing, when you have control, you have the KPIs, then you don't have any, you don't have any way that you can't lead somebody well. You've given them a budget. You ask them what the results should be. You say, all right, Caroline, you want to do a guidebook? I support you 100%. I need your guidebook to be complete in 2 weeks, and the average engagement time should be at least 2 minutes on it. Can you think of a way to do that, right? And then if your mentee is really smart, they'll come up with their own solution, right? If they're not so like, then you go, I don't know how to actually measure engagement in 2 minutes. How would I do that? Have you thought about the channel that you're using? I'm going to be using this channel. Then you can't measure engagement time, can you? That's right. Well, if you can't measure it, how do we know if it's working? Good point. Well, good point, Nadine. What should I do? Maybe you should actually put it on a channel where we can measure it and where it has wider distribution and even non-guests can take a look at it. What would that look like, Nadine? Maybe you can make a blog post. That sounds like a good idea, Nadine. Great. How would you measure engagement time on a blog post? Well, I can show you. You can use Google Analytics. That sounds good. Can I check Google Analytics? Yes, you can check it every day. Good. All right. So then you can get creative. You can say, all right, you know what we're going to do. What you can do is you can check Google Analytics every day, and you can keep on adding new things to your blog post on the guidebook to make people stay longer on it. You think you can do that? Yeah, I think I can do that. That's cool. So that's how I think you can lead somebody to think in a way that's that places a bit more control, but it still allows them to have creative freedom, which is ultimately the best of both worlds. Where then you don't have awkward conversations of how do I get you to stop doing something that that I don't think is working, right? Or I'm not even sure how it would look like if it was working. So I think that's also a pretty common thing. Let's go over to Lilith. What do you think of that?
Oh, we still have 5 minutes. Yeah, that's actually cool, sir. It's also give Carolyn new what is that, new competencies on how to figure out something based on data, right? And it's cool actually. I also already notes what's Jing's suggestion in your part, Nadine's, but actually I found a new card by Carolyn on HAR. Have you noticed that the examining
Yes,
inquiry coming?
yes, Carlos. It that's actually so basically for this one is the discussion for this card is actually be when I miss the HR scrum. So Tendi, Tendi say comes up with the initiative like before you pivoting, just make one card for research the problem. So this is actually the base card, the base card for the problem card, and then she create the pivot cards, which is the guidebook, that one. So yeah, I let her to continue this one. So yeah, make sure you solve the problem by creating the guidebook.
Okay, I see. And also, I noticed that Carolyn using the new template, and actually, I haven't socialized it to ATR. Where actually Carolyn got this template, and it's really good actually. But I see here also she don't has any KPI, so it's really important
Yeah,
on our today's
yeah, yeah.
discussion. So maybe you can please tell Carolyn that today.
Yes. So she knew it from me and Tandy. So Tandy has had a discussion with me, and I invite Caroline also.
Regarding the template.
Yeah, regarding the template.
Okay, yeah. Okay, then. Do you have anything to add, sir?
Very, very good. One, I would like to actually give you credit, Nadine. This is a very good sign. When a intern is able to pop their own pivots, that's super good. That means they have initiative. That means they're thinking. That means they're biased to action. They're creative. Now, a lot of interns have not done that themselves yet, right? If this came from Caroline's own initiative, that's already a really, really good sign. That can be a test, right? To see, let's say, that can be a test. Can you create your own card, your own pivot, and be approved by the rest of the team? So that part is really good. That's fairly promising. Lilith is absolutely right. It's not complete, even though it's a good start. We need to have KPIs and evidence, and perhaps Caroline can open this up so that we can see what
Yeah.
the Dropbox file is. So that's a dark spot. And just as a point of reminder, if this card is already being used as a template, what I would suggest is go to the source of HAR and change this card from the old template to the new
Mm.
template now, because we still have the old template here. So if we are having people already adopt the new one, let's make it official and get that changed over the rest of the chapter. But this is that's very good. I think that's really promising. That means that you're showing progress as a leader if your followers are able to lead themselves now, and that's super good. I like that.
Yep.
I really like that. Yeah, that's a good sign. Okay. Um, okay, that's pretty much it. Back to Lilith.
Yes, actually, that's pretty much it. And yeah, I think as all the, I think I will implement the new template on the other other chapter. I will copy and paste it today, since it's also understandable. Since I see Caroline use it in a good way, but I need Nadine's to look at her Caroline's card. I think she has problem with making checklists, because there's so many title checklists. You can check it later, but it's a technical problem. So I think that's for today. Do you have anything to add, Nadine, from you?
All good. Carlis, thank you for
Okay,
sharing.
from you, sir.
No, I think we had a very productive session this morning. So we were able to look at a few fundamental things that happen, and we had a good discussion about using the Socratic method to guide people, raising intern confidence, which is really important. And we were able to, yeah, this is really cute. This is okay, good. Thank you. Maybe because it's a smaller group, actually, it's more, yeah, it's more focused that way. Okay, but this is also important. This is why we want to have more chairs. The more chairs we have, the smaller groups we can have, and the more in focus we can have too as well. And speaking of next chair, Lilith, over to you for the next chair.
Okay. Wait. The next chair will be. Wait. Not this one.
It's on the screen.
Aldo.
Aldo, yes, okay. And then, oh, I was supposed to be secretary today, so I guess I'll be secretary next time. Yeah. Ding. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Cool. Very good. All right. Thank you, ladies, for this morning, and happy. Oh yeah, happy Eid al Adha for people who celebrate. If not, borrow meat.
Thank you, sir.